I don't think anybody, I know that there's nobody that walked out of there saying, oh, that's fine. No one walked out.
Hey everybody, David Nuno here, TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Right now as we're recording this, we do not know the regional. We're about to find out in like 13 seconds, Nick, but what happened on the show?
Well, we had Brauninger on talking about said regional SEC baseball tournament, all that stuff. Had the head man himself, Coach Jim Schlossnagle in studio. JB Moss, good guy to talk to, talking about Aggie baseball, right? And of course, TexAgs co-owner and executive editor, Billy Liucci.
Eric Casares, what was your favorite part of the show, just so we can get you in?
Favorite part of the show was Jim Schlossnagle coming in and giving us some hype going into the regional. I'm super excited.
My favorite part was you not knowing Dennis Eckersley or Mariano Rivera. You can learn more about that next on the Rewind. This is now, the test is here. The opportunity is here for A&M. Everything they've worked for, we're about to find out who will be here. But the bottom line is this team at home is a different team. They're great on the road, but it's a different team at home.
I would be hesitant to call them great on the road. They've been average.
Good.
They've been average on the road, which is about what everybody else has been on the road. But at Bluebell Park, they have been pretty special. I think the number one goal, they went into Hoover, and I don't think there was any kind of expectation for them to win the tournament. Like they were fine if they did, fine if they didn't. I said it all week leading into Hoover that you always care about winning. You just care a little bit less about losing. That being said, being around the kids and the coaches in Hoover, when the ball's rolled out and you're playing Mississippi State at night and then you're playing Tennessee the next day, like when the game was being played, there wasn't anybody going, okay, we're okay with losing. Like when you get in those competitive atmospheres with real competitors, they want to win. And so I don't think the A&M clubhouse or the A&M dugout was okay with what happened in Hoover. Now, it stings a little less, but I do think they came home with a little bit of bad taste in their mouth. That being said, you get to come home and they got a few days off. And I think getting rested and reset, and that'll be the theme of my article today, is like, okay, the grind of the regular season is over. You have some guys nursing some injuries that are really playing through them. Jackson Appel is a dadgum warrior, what he's playing through. Get them off their feet for a few days, let them rest and reset their mind and reset their focus to go, okay, we've had some incredible moments this season. We've had some head-scratching moments this season. It's time to reset, and they talk about opening day mentality. Here it is again. Reset. Put everything that the first 57 games, they don't matter anymore. Reset. Opening day's Friday.
Yeah, you don't say – you at least know there's another day coming, right? Yeah. So I don't think anybody, I know that there's nobody that walked out of there saying, oh, that's fine. No one walked out. And we had a very stern conversation when we got back to the hotel, really the first one that I've had with the team all year, that, hey, let's call a spade here. Like, I had 3 points with him. I don't know if I need to share the whole thing, but I'm pretty transparent, as you know. So the first thing was that what just happened was, and what has gone on 3 of the last 4 weeks, that's not okay. And that doesn't mean that, it can happen to any team, because point number 2 was they call it a season for a reason. It's a season. They play 162 in the big leagues because if you only played 50, you wouldn't know who the best team was. But over the course of 162, you do figure out who the best teams are if they can stay healthy. So the team that played the way we did at Ole Miss or whatever is still the same team that played a 15-0 and 9-0 game against Vanderbilt, right? And so I think they call it a season for a reason, and 3 of those 4 weekends that we didn't like were all on the road. Right? Well, we've played well enough. We earned the right in the best league in the country to get to play at home. And the 12th man is real. Mm-hmm. It's real. LSU having all those people there at the conference tournament, that's real. Because when you put an A&M uniform and the 12th man's behind you, like, you play differently. There's no doubt about it. You feel differently about yourself. You feel like there's people behind you. And when you go on the road, you have to generate that yourself. So my point is, we've earned the right to play at home. The last 3 of the last 4 weekends doesn't taste great. But at the same time, if we would have had those weekends early and then played our best baseball in the last 3 or 4 weekends, how would we feel today? Right. So your attitude's a choice you make, right? So choose to remember all the great things.
Obviously, we don't love the way they've played recently, but that being said, I know you have a lot of confidence in what this team can do, so just kind of closes out with some thoughts, knowing that now it's go time. Let's get it done.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, for better or worse, for every single team that's in the NCAA tournament, everything that you've done to this point, nobody cares, right? It doesn't matter if you're the last team that snuck in. Look at Ole Miss and their national title run, or if you're the number one overall seed, which we know hasn't won a national title since '99. So I think that it's exciting. I think that you want to be rested. You want to feel recovered. You kind of do want to feel like you're playing your best baseball at this time. But if you're not, you take this week to practice and try to feel good about yourself and just be as prepared as you can be. And look, I think the key to this team is a couple things moving forward. I think their ability to throw strikes. I think Slosh would tell you, given this day and age of baseball, the solo home run isn't going to scare him, especially when he has a lineup as talented as he does in Aggie land. I think that when you get in trouble is if you walk a guy, you hit a guy, maybe we boot the ball around the infield and there's two guys on and now it's a 3-run home run. So I think just doing what they've done majority of the year and that throw strikes, avoid the free bases, play clean defensive baseball. And if you give up a solo shot, hey, I'm going to take my chances in 1 run or 2 runs not beating this Texas A&M team. So just their mantra all year long, just dominate the zone and then offensively, take the balls and hammer the strikes. Allow them to put you on first base for free because it's something that happens at a very high rate in college baseball. So take your walks, and then when you get good pitches to hit, they're playing at home. Olsen Field at Bluebell Park is going to be hot. The wind's going to be blowing out, and that's a big thing.
But I'm intrigued by 2 California guys now committing, and I think a part of the country where A&M has done okay in the past, but I feel like there's a concerted effort there potentially because there's always talent there in California.
Yeah, there absolutely is, and there is a concerted effort out there. It's 100%. It's not coincidence, and it's not just these 2 guys. They're making an effort out west. I think they see opportunity. A&M in Texas and now OU are the furthest west, in this conference. It was something Coach Sumlin liked to try to do. He had, you talk about guys, like they got some guys out of Arizona, most notably Christian Kirk, Kyle Allen. They tried to go west some because especially now, like all those kids on the West Coast, they are either going to play football in the Big Ten or probably the SEC.
Right.
And it's not quite the dogfight that it is when, like, okay, I want to go get a guy out of Georgia, that Georgia and Bama, and like, you do need to go fight and win some of those battles. And you saw that was I thought the biggest thing with Jimbo, his biggest strength was they were able to do that. And you've seen A&M win already under Elko some battles in Florida. But in that Southeast, you do have to go win some of those battles. But those are also the toughest battles you're going to fight. And you're going to lose more than you win. So where else is it coming from? Your foundation is Texas. I think they're doing a great job in state this year. And I think it's only going up, not only in the future, but throughout the rest of this cycle. But they looked west and saw real opportunity.
Same caliber of player.
Much like the Settlers. They looked west and saw opportunity and gold and
same level of player though, right? With
a
different type
but you have to go with the elite upper end.
Right.
There's not the depth that there is in the SEC footprint. So you've obviously got to be careful. You can't just say we're going to just go recruit the West Coast and play football in the SEC.
They're not doing that.
There's not the depth, and there's not the need when you have. It's got to go Texas, SEC footprint.
All right, let's close it out, Eric. Tell the people.
Like, subscribe, comment, share, rate. Did I say comment? Yeah, I said comment. Yeah, that's all.
That was an awkward ending. We'll see you next time.